Skol Vikings fans! Are we finally going to put an end to the quarterback carousel that has haunted us for years? The front office is facing a massive dilemma that could define the next decade of our franchise. We have a golden opportunity to secure a high-end talent through a shocking move in the upcoming supplemental draft, but it comes with a high price. Could this gamble be the missing piece to finally lead us to a championship? I have all the details on this bold potential acquisition. Before we dive into the strategy, smash that like button, subscribe, and comment below. Head coach Kevin O'Connell of the Minnesota Vikings faces a pivotal turning point in his tenure regarding the most critical position on the field. For 4 years, the quarterback situation in Minnesota has remained characterized by instability, a stark irony for a franchise that has consistently hovered near championship contention without ever grasping the trophy. O'Connell, a former professional quarterback and Super Bowl winning coordinator, is now looking toward a radical solution to break this cycle. The Vikings are currently considering a high-stakes strategy to address their long-term uncertainty, bidding their 2027 first-round pick on quarterback Brendan Sorsby in the upcoming league supplemental draft. This move, while bold, represents a deliberate attempt to secure a franchise cornerstone after years of searching for consistency. Sorsby became eligible for this unique path after losing his NCAA standing last week, following the failure of his appeals regarding past gambling activities. The quarterback admitted to placing over 40 wagers on his former team, Indiana, during his freshman season, though he never bet on games in which he participated. Despite undergoing inpatient rehabilitation for gambling addiction, Sorsby forfeited a significant $5 million salary at Texas Tech to pursue a professional career this summer. His availability in the supplemental draft creates an immediate dilemma for the Vikings and O'Connell, who must decide if the player's upside outweighs the risks. For a team that has struggled to stabilize its roster, this potential acquisition signals a proactive, albeit aggressive, shift in strategy. With the supplemental draft fast approaching, the organization has to determine whether sacrificing future capital is a price worth paying to finally resolve the persistent instability that has defined the team's identity throughout O'Connell's career in Minnesota. Skol. The mechanism of the supplemental draft is straightforward. Teams enter bids with round values, and the highest bidder secures the player while forfeiting the corresponding selection in the next general draft. For Minnesota, this means putting their 2027 first-round pick on the line for Brendan Sorsby. Expert opinions on his value vary significantly. ESPN's Ben Solak has suggested that while Sorsby might possess the talent of a first-round pick in a vacuum, the modern landscape of the NFL, where sports betting is pervasive, might deflate his actual draft value to a third-rounder due to the inherent character risks. Conversely, others like Todd McShay of The Ringer argue that Sorsby belongs in the top tier of the 2027 class, grouping him alongside elite prospects such as Arch Manning, Dante Moore, and Lenoris Sellers. For Kevin O'Connell, the decision is not just about raw talent, but about necessity. The team enters 2026 with a complicated quarterback room. They secured two-time Pro Bowler Kyler Murray on a 1-year league minimum contract, a move prompted by the Arizona Cardinals still owing Murray nearly $37 million following his release. While Murray provides immediate stability, his future with the Vikings beyond this season is entirely speculative. If he performs well, he will likely command a salary that the team may not want to pay for a player who will soon be on the wrong side of 30. If he struggles or suffers another injury, the team will be back at square one. The reliance on short-term fixes has kept the Vikings in a cycle of ambiguity, making the prospect of bidding on Sorsby a potential exit ramp from the current, precarious state of their quarterback rotation. Why does this matter right now for the Vikings? The answer lies in the team's lack of a clear succession plan. With Kyler Murray on a short-term deal and the former first-round selection J.J. McCarthy missing significant time due to injuries, the organization is trapped in a loop of uncertainty. J.J. McCarthy has been sidelined for 24 of 34 possible regular season games since being drafted 10th overall in 2024, a reality that forced a change in front office management this past offseason. Under the current structure, Murray is the immediate answer, while McCarthy has been relegated to a backup role heading into his third professional season. Relying on either player as a long-term foundation is a risk the front office seems hesitant to fully endorse. The addition of Murray was an elite move for 2026, yet his presence does nothing to address the 2027 vacancy. If the Vikings wait until the 2027 draft to solve this, they may find themselves unable to secure a top-tier prospect. Given the talent on the current roster, particularly at skill positions and on defense, it is likely the team will be competitive enough in 2026 to avoid a top 10 selection. Moving up in a highly touted draft class would require an immense amount of draft capital, perhaps even more than the cost of a single first-round bid in the supplemental process. By choosing to target Brendan Sorsby now, Kevin O'Connell and the organization could preemptively secure a high-ceiling asset, bypassing the volatility of the upcoming season's results and the unpredictability of the open market. The focus remains on ending the cycle of makeshift starters and finally establishing a stable future. The decision to pursue Brendan Sorsby involves weighing the cost of a 2027 first-round pick against the scarcity of premium quarterback talent. For Kevin O'Connell, the argument for Sorsby is built on the reality that the team is unlikely to hold a high enough draft position next spring to land a player of similar physical caliber. Sorsby, a dual-threat passer who threw for 7,200 yards over his final 3 collegiate seasons, represents exactly the type of upside that has been missing. While some critics point to his off-field history as a reason for caution, the Vikings must weigh that against the failure of previous attempts to solidify the position. The organization has already taken significant swings, including the decision to move on from Kirk Cousins and the subsequent reliance on a rotation of veteran talents. None of these maneuvers have produced the sustained success the franchise seeks. Bidding on Sorsby is an admission that the current model is insufficient. It is a calculated gamble, yes, but one that aligns with the goal of securing a long-term starter who fits O'Connell's offensive vision. There is also the matter of managing the existing room. Adding a player of Sorsby's profile might alienate current players like J.J. McCarthy, but the team has already signaled a shift in direction by bringing in Murray. At this stage, the priority is not maintaining the comfort of the current roster, but finding an answer that lasts beyond 2026. The front office appears to be moving toward a reality where they prioritize future potential over the immediate, albeit fragile, stability provided by short-term contract veterans. As the supplemental draft approaches in July, the spotlight remains firmly on Kevin O'Connell and the front office's final determination. The team has seen how previous missteps, specifically the management of the quarterback transition post-Cousins, have limited their potential. The arrival of Kyler Murray was a logical response to an immediate need, but it was a stopgap rather than a solution. By bidding a first-round pick for Brendan Sorsby, the Vikings are attempting to control their own destiny. They are effectively choosing to pay a premium now to avoid the uncertainty of a 2027 free agent market that could see them lose their current starter or fail to draft an adequate replacement. The narrative of O'Connell's tenure has been defined by his ability to maximize offensive output, yet that potential has been consistently hindered by the lack of a locked-in, long-term signal caller. Sorsby offers a way out of this pattern. Whether or not he ultimately becomes the face of the franchise remains to be seen, but the decision to target him is a direct response to the recurring instability that has hampered the organization for the last 4 years. The risks are clear: the loss of a 2027 first-round pick and the potential for friction within the locker room, but the potential reward of finally pinning down a legitimate, dual-threat talent at the sport's most valuable position is what drives this potential move. The franchise is at a crossroad, and the choice to prioritize a high-stakes bet on Sorsby highlights a shift toward aggressive, forward-looking roster construction. Whatever happens in July will dictate the trajectory of the Vikings' offensive identity as they look to leave their recent volatility in the rearview mirror for good.